Tyson Tuesday. What you doing, little dude? You gonna come out and hang out with Daddy? He's doing his thing. So he's just creeping in the doorway. Anyway, happy Tuesday, beautiful humans. In between morning calls, activities, things. And this thought's been on my mind since a few conversations last week. And the title of this one is Window or a Mirror? Now, what is this predicated on? So in coaching, there's this concept of really just finding a way to hold up the mirror. You're asking questions. You're not telling people what to do. You're asking them so that they can explore the thoughts and they can find the answers themselves. And funny enough, oftentimes when I'm coaching people, they're like, it just felt good to just talk it out and say the things. And they knew the answer all along. But they really needed a space to not feel judged, feel loved, feel understood, feel heard, perhaps get a little feedback or just a kind of corresponding understanding of what's going on in there. And but the perception, right, when you hold up a mirror, it can be very daunting. We've talked about this before a few times, especially when, again, my original background's in the fitness space. And the amount of people that I know that have told me they haven't looked in the actual mirror. They haven't looked at themselves in weeks, if not months, if not years. Haven't actually looked at themselves, like getting out of the shower, haven't looked and like paid attention to themselves. And it's every single time as this, it's wrapped in insecurity. It's wrapped in judgment and shame. I don't feel good about myself. I don't like myself. Well, the physical image there is one thing, but oftentimes it's the same thing. Like what we really don't know is that we're talking to the person on the inside. It's not even so much what we see exteriorly. That's just the we'll call it the accumulation and manifestation of all the behaviors that are predicated on our beliefs around ourselves, and then that we're applying through our decisions into behaviors and habits, and then it creates the results. But in coaching, it's this idea of you're holding up the mirror, but you're going to give the perception that it's a window. You're talking to somebody. And I'm a big believer that the eyes are the windows to the soul. I'm sure you've heard of that. The eyes are the windows to the soul. And if we think about each other being mirrors of each other, perhaps what we start to see is, especially if we're in a space where we're being appreciated and heard and understood, and in a coaching space where they can feel validated, worthy, worthwhile, valuable, what you're really seeing is that it's not somebody else's opinion of you. It's not the person sitting across from you, their opinion. It's actually how you really see yourself. It's how you really love yourself. It's really how you appreciate yourself when you push all the noise away, that you're worthy of love, you're worthy of appreciation, you're worthy of success. If you allow yourself to be, if you keep shielding it, keep hiding from it, keep running from it, and you don't connect to that feeling, connect to that understanding, connect to that sense of worthiness, you're never going to buy into it. You have to connect to that. You have to repeat it to yourself. You have to then reaffirm that with the behaviors and the subsequent actions afterwards that close that loop. But this is why I think it's so valuable to find a relationship, whether it's coaching or a friendship or whatever, mentorship, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a professional relationship. But if you can find somebody who can see you and allow you to see yourself in the highest light, just through the perception of talking to you, thinking it's safe enough, like I'm talking at somebody, I'm talking with them, I'm engaging with them, but it's not this very aggressive mirror that I all I see is like the shame and the guilt and the self-loathing and all those other things. When it comes to business, when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to your intimate relationships. And believe you me, I hear people talk about this all the time. Like they don't think they believe it. They don't think they're worth it. They're fighting this image. And I talk to entrepreneurs all the time because that's who I primarily work with, and especially couples. It can be a very lonely space, and if you're not connecting and touching base with that, oftentimes you're only just bombarded with the negative. because you're always putting out fires. There's always problems to solve. And in that lonely space, you sometimes lose belief in yourself. Especially when you add things on, like if you have new bills, or you move spaces, or you grow as a business, you have new staff, you have family, you have new obligations, you have whatever it is. If you're growing in some sense and you're taking on things, to reconnect to what you're all about and what you are worthy of is very difficult, because you get lost in the cloud. Hence why I think it's so valuable to connect with somebody on a routine basis to get clarity, to reconnect, and to go back. Like I said, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Can you look somebody in the eye, share who you are, be yourself, let your guard down, be real, and be open and be honest, and then come to this sense of clarity? Because once you've let go of those other burdens, the next steps become very simple, becomes very obvious, it becomes a lot less daunting, even because you have more of a sense of belief. You're coming from a place of of abundance. You have enough. You are enough. I'm going a few different directions here, and I'm aware of it as I'm saying it, but I've said this to a few people. I don't know why this is about me, but I feel like I've always just been able to just look at somebody in a few seconds and be able to, like, have a decent read of what's going on here. But I also feel like I've had a very distinct ability to be like, this is who this person truly is, from the sense of what they can be, their possibility, their capacity, what they. I hate wasted potential more than anything. And I've said this to a few people: if you could see yourself through the lens that I see you, you'd never be upset another day in your life, because you have enough. I think you're worthy of love. I think you're worthy of great things, and I think that over time, if you continually put the effort in, you're capable of doing anything. I don't know where that comes from with me, but it is what it is. That's what I've found about myself. And my hope is that even if it just starts with you looking yourself in the mirror, looking yourself square in the eyes, and I actually did this last week for the first time ever. I can be hypercritical of myself. So all these things, these revelations I'm saying, are coming from firsthand experience. I will not exclude myself from that equation. I looked myself in the eyes and said some of these affirmations. I've talked to a few people about affirmations lately, just connecting and looking at myself, and then understanding, and how do we change the language we have about ourselves, but looking into yourself, looking into the human that you are, the person that you are, the soul that you are as well. I think there's something about looking yourself in the eye, because you're confronting it head on. You're connecting to something bigger than yourself. What that is, I don't know. Do you need to know? I don't know. I don't think that matters. I think it's more about the process of coming to terms with and accepting and loving what you are and who you are. And especially what I've found, again, I work with entrepreneurs and just a lot of couples, they're looking to feel more connected in their relationship. They're looking to feel more purposeful in their work. They're looking to feel like what they do matters. They want to have a life where they can take care of people and have the freedom to do the things they love. And for some reason, they need to let go of these other burdens. It takes a lot of strength to do that. It can be a lonely place. You can probably have been burned by some authority in your past, hence the reason why you went down the path of, I want to do my own thing in the first place. It can, like, when you take on that responsibility, yes, it's all your fault, but you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be lonely. I think it's important to be good with yourself alone, but you don't have to be lonely. Those are two different things. And to be able to share, and to be able to open up, and to be able to find your way back to being your most authentic version of yourself. What I've found in that space is that all the other things, the exterior things, the external things, whether it's making more sales, growing your business, building more connections, whatever the external stuff looks like, that takes care of itself. But it comes from understanding yourself on the inside, because that's the foundation. You can't build a skyscraper on muddy terrain. It's got to be built in concrete. So those are my thoughts on this right now. My challenge to you is to look yourself in the eye today and be kind, be loving, and connect to who you really are, and appreciate who you really are for what you really stand for. At least it's a start. You might not believe it the first time you do it, but it's the practice and the repetition, and you'll start to buy into that. So that's my challenge to you. On that note, if you're needing some help, I've committed to helping 1,000 humans over the next 12 months. I need some help helping 1,000 people. I hope that if it's you or you know somebody else that needs the support, my gift to you in this effort is I want to make a different impact. I want to make a bigger impact on this world. My gift to you is 2 coaching sessions, 2 VIP coaching sessions with me. There's zero obligation for anything. There's no pitch, there's no nothing. This is just a give so that you can move the needle in some capacity and hopefully move in the direction where you really want to go with your life and feel more at peace and feel more self-love, however that plays out. If that's something that you're looking for and you're looking for some support, looking to just take the first step, I'd love to be part of that solution for you. So all you have to do, just send me a message. We'll get something on the books, and we'll get to know each other and see if it's the right fit for us, and we can have that conversation. You can do that. But aside from that, today, when you look into these other people and you look at yourself, when you see others, what are you seeing as a reflection of yourself? Is it loving? Is it caring? If it's nasty, how can you change that? How can you see the better side of it? And perhaps you'll start to change the narrative and start to see your world in a different place and realize there's a lot more abundance than you thought was there in the first place. Might be difficult, might be scary, might be different. Might be different from what you're used to, especially if you have some old patterns. But the only way to start is to start. The only way to break the pattern is to start doing it. So that's my challenge to you right now. Aside from that, I hope you find yourself in a great place right now. A lot of love and happiness in your heart. And until next time, much love.